Welcome to Oilers Nation Every Day with your hosts, Tyler and Liam.
Two Stanley Cup contenders with generational stars up front, completely overhauled goalie departments, and Norris Trophy contenders on the back end. They're both Stanley Cup contenders, right? Let's get into it with the lead. Right on time, Jay. Right on time. That was so close. You were so close. Welcome into Oilers Nation Every Day. We are live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca. 3 locations in the Edmonton area: St. Albert Mall, Sherwood Park Mall, and Kingsway Mall. Also, we are a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. YouTube chat, a big hello. Everybody tuning in for a game day edition of the program. Jay's here, Liam's here, whole gang's here.
Hey, gang.
Hello, gang.
We're going to need you.
Gang.
I realized this a couple minutes ago when Liam reminded me for the 8th time. We're going to need you to play an elevated role on Thursday and Friday's shows.
Yeah.
What?
I'm gone.
This Thursday and Friday?
Yeah.
I am also out of town.
Oh, golly.
I am
warming
in
up the
Montreal
bullpen
on
arm.
Thursday, Toronto on Friday.
Oh, going to see our friend Max Lapierre.
Lappy.
Nice.
He's launching a new show.
Yeah,
Yes.
hockey with
an accent.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I could go further with the title.
Yeah.
Pretty good cast. So how's that
Episode 1,
working?
he has like 6 NHLers.
Is that everyone on one show?
That's his first show. He's bringing all those people in to just kick it off with a bang.
They're going to do like one of those really confusing panels that they'll do on like Fox News. They're going to put all 6 of them on at once and just have them all talk over each other.
It's going to be like... do you remember that clip? I can't remember what the song is. But it's all those celebrities singing, but Usher thinks he's in the middle. You ever seen that one?
Is that the COVID song they did?
Yeah, but Usher's bottom left, but he's like looking around at everyone. He's clearly just not where he thought he was going to be. That's what it'll be like.
They must have told him he was
Yeah.
in the middle for that and then screwed him.
So anyways, who's co-hosting the show with me on Thursday and Friday? Tune in and find out. Maybe I'll get Joel. This is your shot, Joel.
Who's Joel?
Some guy who every single day is like, "Can I please come on the show?"
Yeah, he just keeps
So
asking.
that's all
Bring him
all he contributes.
We got a comment here. The disrespect giving someone named Dan Harper my rundown on the Frederick injury is crazy, Liam. That's from Dr. Hunter.
Sorry, Dr. Hunter.
But
I
now
should
we
have
know.
known it was the doc.
The doctor, yeah.
That's my mistake.
Trent Frederick looking to stay hot. Edmonton Oilers looking to get hot, I'll say. I'm not going to say that was a good win over the Vegas Golden Knights, but nobody's fooling themselves in saying the Oilers are looking hot right now, are they?
Oh, no.
They started that game looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah, and they hit 2 goalposts, and I was like,
And then
damn it.
they fizzled out, but they bent and didn't break. And then pods.
Yeah, and goalie Ingram played well and
Ingram made saves.
He gave up the one stinker that didn't quite count because the offside.
didn't count at all.
Yeah.
Wasn't a goal, man.
Yeah.
Why
Men in
even
black,
bring that up?
zoop.
Yeah,
He was offside.
forgot
He
about
knew it was
He knew
offside.
Yeah, he
offside.
let it
Leave
in.
him alone.
Anyway, yeah, they played really well against Vegas. I think they get pretty close to full marks there. Like, that's a
It's a
tough
passing
team.
grade,
You're
yeah.
on the road. Like, you needed the win. You got the win. Tonight, though, it's a totally different
Cool.
beast. You're playing an Avs team that last time you played them beat the wheels off you 9-1.
That might even be an understatement.
9-1 is like a complimentary score to the Oilers.
I think that game could have got worse. They didn't even score on the power play. They had 5 power plays that night. The Oilers went 5-5 on the penalty kill, which is insane.
Yep.
Like that is ridiculous.
I remember doing obviously this show every day, and being like, boy, this better be the low point of the season.
2 weeks later.
Nowhere to go but up. And then 2 weeks later, they get smoked on home ice again. And then you thought, you're like, all right, that's the low point. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure it out, guys. We're a playoff team, right?
well, that was the lead today. I mean, you hold these two teams up to each other and you go, hey, they both totally remade their goaltending in the last 12 months. One team getting exponentially better results than the other from that decision. They both have generational forwards leading the charge up front. Very good complementary pieces in their top 6. 2 Norris caliber defenders on the blue line, and that's a conversation. I came prepared with facts for that conversation today. Did Pat send you the graphics I have made yet? Or what I made?
He's
The
working on
over
it.
under is 7.
Yeah, they
That's
got
insane.
high.
Which
I think you have to take the under tonight. Don't
I
you?
think you have to, because if to me the only way the Oilers win this game is if it is an under.
They went into Colorado last year, I think, and won a low, not low
It
score.
was low. We were there.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was Where what was it?
It was like
4-2.
Was it end up being 4-2?
I think it might have been an empty netter.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
That was a fun nation vacation.
It was.
I think they can win tonight, but they have to play exactly how they played defensively against Vegas the other day. Like, I think Vegas is similar to Edmonton on the fraud scale, we can call them. Bit of a name brand currently, but not a lot of results to back it up. Outer cup contenders, but if they got hot, they're good enough, I would say. But Colorado's just been hot all season. Hasn't really mattered who they've gone up against. They've been able to smoke their opponents.
And now they got Kadri.
Yeah, who's looking like he's not even playing center for them.
No, he started on the wing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Jesse Montano is going to be our guest coming up at 1 o'clock. He's going to talk to us about everything from an Avs perspective. We'll see how our former friend Brett Kulak is feeling in the Mile High City.
Comfortable.
Probably pretty good, yep. So we'll talk with Jesse about that. Also, Devan Dubnyk is going to be our other guest. He's going to join us in about 20-ish minutes here. I don't know if you've been online recently, Jay. Quite the stir when it comes to the Oilers goaltending. And we touched on it briefly yesterday, but if you missed yesterday's show, Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts saying he heard that Jarry got into it with his teammates at Oilers practice and mentioned that Jarry and the team are having challenges getting used to each other. Bob Stauffer, we showed this yesterday. Bob Stauffer on 630 Ched had a couple of things to say as well. He said, quote, "There's some extraneous things that have me quite concerned with Tristan. I can read between the lines of what's going on the ice in practice yesterday. There seemed to be some expletives flying. I don't like that Jarry, when the Oilers lost 7-3 to Minnesota, talked about how the team is playing defensively in front of them." I also saw a pretty interesting tweet from Josh Yohe in Pittsburgh, who obviously covered Tristan Jarry for a number of seasons there. And he was replying to a fan who said, it was a Penguins fan who said, "As much as we've had our conversation about Jarry's performance and exit from Pittsburgh, I don't recall there being as much open friction amongst him and his teammates when he was on the Pens." And Yohe replied and said, "He was frequently condescending with the media. No one cares, I know, but I think his teammates liked him well enough."
Oh, well, that's good.
Well, you know, take out a guy that we like for a guy that's not liked.
And I think that
there was no upgrade to the position.
I was on the sauce with Ryder and Lisa today. And
Hammered already, eh?
Pardon? Oh. It just rolls off the tongue. I was on the sauce today and I said, this is a non-story and this isn't coming up if Tristan Jarry has a 905 and the Oilers have won 4 of their last 5 games, right? Like,
Well, that's what's
right. That's
stoking the emotion, though.
yeah. And
They're not fighting if you're not.
If you're winning.
So what's funny is like Jarry isn't wrong to call out. Yeah, sure, we lose 7. Like our defense has been an issue for why our goalies aren't great.
Agreed.
Yep.
So, and Skinner never said that because he's just a good guy. Jarry's willing to say it. I'm not saying he's a great goalie, but he's willing to say it.
I always lived by the assumption that, like, if it's said to the media, it's said in a room already.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to wonder if that hadn't been said.
But also, this wasn't quite. Are you talking about Jarry after Minnesota?
Yeah, like that one.
Oh, okay. Because I would say, like, this stuff that's recently popped up, this is just like on the ice at practice. This isn't something that like guys are, doing behind closed doors or doing to the media. This is like heat of the moment stuff, which does make you think things are bubbling over. Bob Stauffer with a tweet today, and this is after Frank Saravalli went on his show yesterday, and Frank said this whole thing's getting overblown. And Bob tweeted today, "It's been a season of ups and downs for the Oilers, but for anyone to suggest that the players don't have each other's backs would be ridiculous. The best push on each other on and off the ice each and every day. Great opportunity ahead for this group." The line where Bob says, "But for anyone to suggest that the players don't have each other's back," while he was the one being like, "I can read between the lines of what's happening here." Like, the reason this is being talked about,
He got course corrected.
well, is because Bob and Friedman's comments are what sparked this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think this... Wasn't there more to it, too, that, like...
But why would Friedman say it?
Because Bob said it.
He's
So
going
one
strictly
per-
off of that. He didn't like.
Well, I just think once one person says it, it starts to is open, right?
It's probably rumbling behind the scenes, and it takes one guy saying something, and away we go.
Well, wasn't it more of like he just wasn't trying? Like there was that clip from Gregor the other day where he's like, so many pucks are getting by him. I think the players were just like, can you make
Are you working hard or not?
Make it hard for us. And I think it's fine to have, you have to have the standard. You have to.
And maybe this jolts Jarry into place a little bit.
Well, also, if you're Tristan Jarry, like Connor Ingram seems to be fine. Like he had the good comments after the game against Vegas where he's like, we've said this is how we want to play, and then we finally did it. Like, and that's how we need to play all the time. Something along those lines. But like, those goalies should know how loved Calvin Pickard was by those players, and they need to fill that void however they can. And I'm not saying they have to beat Calvin Pickard off the ice, but you can't be a sore to this team. Like, you have to figure out a way to be positive.
Yes.
And try hard in practice.
Gotta be a team guy. Yeah. No, it's that's what's annoying. Like, he's not wrong calling out the defense in front of him, but he also needs to stop the puck.
Totally.
Right? So it's he doesn't really have a leg to stand on, even though he's kind of saying the right thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what just makes this really messy.
Well, he got even messy after he said that against Minnesota. Played against, I think he played Calgary, not Toronto, and then just allowed an absolute stinker, and then came back in the room and was like, yeah, I got to be better. It's like, oh, so you're backtracking one game after you just said everyone else has to be better?
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to make a statement.
From the news desk of Liam Horriban.
Can you stand up when you do interviews? Like, it actually drives me nuts. Like, empower yourself.
If Tristan Jarry starts standing up to do his interviews, will you do a whole show standing up?
Yes. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
All right.
Like, I just don't get it.
The cameras. All right. Noted. I want to be there on the episode.
Well, you can't stand up. I look tiny.
No, I'll sit down.
Okay,
no, I'm
good.
sitting down. We're all sitting down. You're standing.
We're just going to get you on a very tall mic.
I'll stand over there.
And then when we do this wide shot, it'll just be like the middle of your body.
Yeah,
the screen.
just neck down.
I'll be like Buddy the Elf.
Yes.
At the start of Elf when he's in the workshop. That'll be me. Yeah, it honestly just irritates the crap out of me. I don't understand
you and a lot of people.
Why can you not stand up?
I know.
I don't get it. No one else sits down in the stall.
He's sleepy. He's tired. You know how hard it is being a goalie?
Well, for him.
Cut the guy some slack. Play better defense in front of him.
Yeah, then you have the energy to stand.
So, looking at the last 10 games across the board for every team in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers in that stretch are, got to scroll a little bit here, 31st in the league in goals against per 60 at 5-on-5.
How many teams are there?
There are 32.
Shit.
Expected goals against per 60, they're 18th. So that right there would suggest 5-on-5 save percentage. They are dead last in the NHL in that stretch. They're not getting as many saves as they should, even if they shouldn't be an elite team, 18th in expected goals.
We would take 18th ranked goaltending.
Yes.
That's all we want. I dream of it.
We had it.
High danger shot attempts against per 60, the Oilers, 20th in the NHL. So again, not great. High danger goals against per 60, 21st in the NHL. Like, again, they just need, like, those numbers being as close to each other. Yeah, they're giving up about as many high danger chances as those numbers would suggest that they should. The fact, though, that overall their expected goals is 13 positions higher in the NHL. It's a gap of almost 1 goal per 60 minutes at 5-on-5. That tells you the goalies are giving up one more than they should pretty much every single game. And when you go back to a game like Carolina, how much different is that hockey game if the one doesn't go in? And maybe they got a little lucky against Vegas because the one that shouldn't go in ended up not counting and getting pulled off the board. But, like, that would have grossly changed the game if that one would have counted.
I think the annoying thing about Jarry in particular is you think of that Carolina game, he had that early save on Ehlers where he's one-on-one, he snags him with his glove. You're kind of making the hard saves, but you can't make the easy ones. And he just seems like when one goes in, he just completely falls apart on him. I would like to see the team, like, they're trying to block shots and get into that rhythm of things, and I understand that, but you also need to have the awareness of, like, battle in front of your net, like, clear some bodies out of the way. Like, we've seen it so often where the Oilers are the ones putting it in their own net because they're in the way in the wrong way. So they got to figure out how to block some shots too. But it's also on the goalies. I completely agree. Isn't Ottawa the other team that's very similar to Edmonton?
Yeah, Ottawa's actually started to get some better goaltending, though. In their last 10 games, the Ottawa Senators are... They're hot. They are 10th in save percentage in the NHL.
Must be nice.
5-on-5.
Well, you would hope they do have a Vezina winner.
Yeah, he's now wanting to play hockey.
Did you know that there's only one team in the NHL who has a 5-on-5 save percentage worse than the Oilers this year on the season as a whole?
Oh, what conference are they in?
West. Very easy answer.
Vancouver. Calgary. No, Calgary has Cooley.
And Cooley's been great, and Vancouver's gotten somewhat decent goaltending. It's Vegas. They're a dumpster fire, man.
We are all frauds.
We are so fraudulent.
Yeah, we're living in a
We just got to figure this out. It's scary. It's
Whatever
scary.
team gets mildly hot is going to waltz to the Western Conference Final.
Oh,
It's going to be fucking hilarious. The Central's going to be beating the shit out of each other. You can make an argument that Utah might be the best team on our side of the bracket come playoff time because they're going to get pulled over.
Them or Anaheim. Anaheim's good. You got to give them credit.
Anaheim's got a goalie.
Anaheim can't keep pucks out of their net either.
But
Really?
they're
Oh, I
scoring
just
them.
said they had a goalie.
Well, like, Dostal's fine, and he probably gives you, like, some reason to think.
Is Husso still their backup?
Oh, they're a
Who
negative
summarized?
goal differential, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Really?
what's wild.
Yeah. And if you go full
The
season,
whole
like,
Pacific is fraudulent.
last 10 games, they're bottom third in the NHL in goals against per 60 at 5-on-5. And on the year, they are the second most scored on team at 5-on-5 in the entire NHL. And team save percentage wise, they're fifth last. Golden Knights are last, Oilers are second last, then Ottawa, then Florida, then Anaheim.
Like, we are so blessed to be in the Pacific Division. So blessed.
Yeah, if we had 70 points in the Eastern Conference, we'd be 6 points out of a playoff spot. Granted, we'd have and Boston would have a game in hand on us. You'd be screwed.
Yeah, the league's in a rotation right now. Like, I mean, look at the Atlantic. Though, like, we've kind of been waiting for that division to take a bit of a spin and flip the other way. Like Buffalo's top.
Well,
Buffalo and Detroit finally making pushes.
If I would have told you at the start of this season, hey, Liam, 5 teams from the Atlantic are making the playoffs, and I'll give you even money on one of them being Florida or Toronto,
You
would have
take
put your life savings on
I
it.
said Toronto was going to win the division,
Yeah?
and they might win it if it's flipped.
And now they're both trying to tank because
Yeah.
they don't want to give up their first-round picks.
So I think on that, Toronto basically, I was listening to something the other day, and they can only win 3 more games the rest of the season, if to likely not finish outside of the top 5. Where Florida, I think, can win 6 more games. Something
Toronto.
like, because Florida's is top 12 protected.
Yeah.
And Toronto's top 5.
I don't think it's that tough. St. Louis is 6 points back of Toronto. They're that cutoff.
But other teams keep winning, I guess, in the West, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
No,
fine for
that's
Toronto, though, because they just...
That's
need
what I
to-
mean. So
yeah.
that's probably switching.
You know who else I'm kind of just sneaky looking at right now?
As what?
I'm just in the playoff picture in the West.
Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Winnipeg can win their games in hand, they're dead even amount of games with Seattle, but they each have 20 games to go. They would hold the tiebreaker if they can get close to catching them. You're telling me that Winnipeg can't play 5 points better over a 20-game stretch than Seattle?
They play them as well.
How many times? Just once?
You know.
So you win that game in hand. You're telling me over a 19 or that head-to-head game. You're telling me over a 19-game stretch, the Winnipeg Jets can't play 3 points better than the Seattle Kraken. The Jets might get in, and the Jets might be in the Pacific side of the bracket.
Hell yeah.
Who would you rather play round 1? A Winnipeg team that's probably at that point coming in winning like 15 of their last 20, or Vegas?
Well, the answer is Vegas.
Yeah.
But Connor Hellebuck sucks in the
Hellebuck, they got the
playoffs.
goalie, yeah.
No,
He's
no,
exercised
bad
his
in the
demons,
playoffs.
though.
But
Olympics.
exactly. We've got gold medal,
Although he should have
Sure.
exercised his he
medal
might.
of honor,
Well, we have four
Purple
nations.
Heart, Connor Hellebuck.
War hero.
War hero. There was a battle in Milan. The Battle of Milan, they're calling it. Do you know that there was a thing the other day where Jack Hughes, I think he ended up scoring, but hadn't scored, and he scored like 1 goal in 24 games,
Yeah.
not including the gold medal game. It's unbelievable.
there's another conversation I want to have with you guys here on Game Day. Just a reminder, Game Day edition of the show. It's brought to you by Capital GMC Buick Edmonton. Check out their extensive inventory of top quality vehicles like the 2026 GMC Terrain Denali or the 2026 Sierra Denali Ultimate. Capital GMC Buick is dedicated to providing you the best possible customer care, and they are rated the #1 dealership in the country by Dealer Rater, and they've been in that spot for 3 consecutive years. They are the only GM dealer in Edmonton endorsed by J.D. Power as a dealer of excellence. Tonight, Game Day, Edmonton, Colorado. McDavid, McKinnon, Ingram, Blackwood, Makar, Bouchard. An interesting conversation to be having if you're our guy Rick, who you listen to on Oilers Nation Radio. Bag Milk's in this camp as well. The Norris Trophy odds have been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking by the day, gentlemen. The guys got in on that bet at plus 3,500. Evan Bouchard is now plus 375 to win the Norris. And there are certain narratives that I think get spun about Evan Bouchard that are maybe true, but not as true as they are about Cale Makar, who seems to just get away with everything, right? Like, everyone looks at Bouch and goes like, yeah, well, any defenseman would have a lot of points playing on the Edmonton Oilers power play. Any defenseman would get a lot of points if they could play all their time with Connor McDavid. So I did the research.
Okay.
Aaron, put up the Makar and McKinnon part of the graphics. So this is their plus minuses at 5v5. So we're taking empty netters out of the equation, which the Avs big guns are kind of empty net merchants.
Uh-oh.
So Cale Makar with Nathan McKinnon this year is plus 30. I think this got copy and pasted wrong. Anyways. Oh, no, it's right. Never mind. Okay, so Makar with McKinnon is plus 30 this year. Makar without McKinnon is only plus 5 this year.
Okay.
He is barely a plus player at 5-on-5 in the minutes he does not get to play with Nathan McKinnon. Okay. McKinnon, when he's on the ice without Cale Makar, is still plus 25. So he's like kind of in the same stratosphere, whether he's on the ice with Makar or not. He dominates play. Makar, when he's not out there with the Avs top line, falls off a little bit. And the Avs, funny enough, when they're both off the ice, plus 19. They're still,
Good team.
Newsflash, they're a really goddamn good hockey team.
True contender.
But you look at this and you go, Cale Makar is obviously at his best when he's out there with McKinnon. The Avs find a way to generally stay above water and actually thrive, I'll say. They find a way to thrive with both of them off the ice. And Nate McKinnon is still a dominating presence even when he's not out there with Cale Makar. The reason why I think Evan Bouchard has a fantastic Norris Trophy case this year is because when you pull up the Oilers' numbers, while a lot of them do drop, Edmonton is nowhere near the team Colorado's been so far this season. But if you look, Bouchard and McDavid are plus 7 when they're on the ice together. Bouchard without McDavid is plus 3. McDavid without Bouchard is minus 3 at 5-on-5 this year. And with both of them off the ice, the Oilers are minus 21. The only permutations of the Edmonton Oilers lineup that are positive at 5-on-5 this year are the ones with Evan Bouchard on the ice. That says something.
Well, no, this says that we have no depth. This is what this says.
But then how come Bouch, when he's there without...
Minus 21.
How come Bouch, when he's out there without Connor McDavid, is still finding ways to be a plus player, but nobody else can? I think that says something. And he also takes the hardest competition, right? He's always going up against the other team's best players, at least on a regularly routine basis. He's always taking tough assignments. He is a legitimate top pairing guy. He does all that tough shit, too. This guy hasn't... I don't think, as the gap has continued to close... Makar's plus 115, Bouchard's plus 375. Listen, if you're asking me who I'm picking when I start a franchise, Cale Makar every single day of the week, twice on Sundays, all that stuff. Right? But this year I'm talking about.
Cale Makar, and people are going to hate me because people think I'm so fucking negative and I don't give a shit.
Uh-oh.
I love you all.
More negativity.
No. Cale Makar, when I say I don't give a shit, we all watched the Olympics. Cale Makar was the second best player in the world at the Olympics. Don't even come at me with stats because I don't care. I watched, and my God, is that guy a factor?
Yep.
Anytime he is on the ice. But his skating, his puck mobility, his everything. He is a game breaker.
Agreed.
Yes.
And that's just my statement. This is not even a knock against Bouch. This is just my total fundamental respect for Cale Makar.
Okay.
I don't, and I'm not arguing your stats either.
I know. So what my stat, I agree with you, and this is what I was getting at. I agree with you. You ask any hockey person, any hockey fan, who would you rather have on your team? It's Cale Makar. This season in the NHL, one of them has been the clear better player than the other one. One team's power play is at a generational level once again. The other team's power play is by the bottom of the league.
32nd, which is actually maybe the wildest stat out of all of them.
Yeah. Crazy.
They figure that out. Look out.
And there's one more thing I had pointed out. Even despite that, look at the splits on the percentage of their points that are on the power play versus 5-on-5. And I took empty netters out of this.
So this is sorry, just to clarify, not on the power play?
So
this is just totals.
I've got another terrible take.
These are their total numbers at the top, and then the bottom is the percentage of their points that they get at even strength.
Gotcha.
Excluding empty net points, because
So
again the Avs
59% of Makar's points come at even strength, 56 for Bouchard.
That gap is razor thin, and yet one of them is on the best power play in the league, and the other one's on the worst.
So we have to really unpack this once again using the Olympics. That
has nothing to do with the Norris race.
No. Nothing. I'm talking about the power play now.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Nathan MacKinnon is the issue on the Colorado Avalanche power play.
Honestly, I knew you were going to say that, and I definitely agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually think MacKinnon is the issue. Imagine Makar had McDavid. Their power play would be number one or like number two to the Oilers. Mm-hmm. It's not a Makar issue. It's a MacKinnon issue.
Well, he can't hit open nets. That's an issue.
But he's selfish. He takes shots. He takes the wrong shot.
Yeah, he does.
Well, he takes the wrong shot a lot.
So just on the power play,
Nathan MacKinnon, fantastic hockey player.
I saw this stat the other day, and I think it was based towards the Anaheim Ducks. And it was something along the lines of like, a team has never won the Stanley Cup if their power play or penalty kill is lower than 17th in the NHL. Not both of them, just one of them. So the fact Colorado is 37, I do think that will haunt them in the playoffs. They get so many more power plays.
Can I give you the numbers to back that up?
At the same time, they have Nathan MacKinnon on it, so they got to be able to figure out. Like, I shit talk him in one side of my mouth, but the other side, I'm like, oh, he's pretty good.
But like, you got to think. Just quickly. If the Oilers' power play would have clicked in either of the two Stanley Cup finals, they have a Stanley Cup in their hands right now. But it didn't, and it went ice cold in both, and they lost. If Colorado is in a similar boat and they get into it with Dallas and Minnesota whenever that comes, that's going to haunt them a little bit. Yeah. We've seen it with so many
maintains, yes.
Yeah.
It's because you got to score at some decent clip in your power play. You need to. The game's so tight.
And there's the myth, I think, in the playoffs that penalties don't get called. I just think it's not that more penalties do get called. There's just a lot more infractions that get missed. It's
tighter,
but more penalties get called.
And you're paying more attention. You get more pissed off at a missed call in game 3 of the playoffs.
Everything.
Colorado last year lost in 7 games to the Dallas Stars. Their power play went 13%. Over the last 3 seasons, Colorado's power play has been roughly 9% worse in the Stanley Cup playoffs compared to the Edmonton Oilers.
Nathan MacKinnon. After the Olympics, I'm like, it's Nathan MacKinnon. This is crazy. I can't believe I'm saying it.
Here's another damning one. They lost what was essentially a 1-goal game in Game 7 last year. It was 4-2 with an empty netter. Their power play in that game went 0 for 3. Dallas's went 2 for 4.
Yeah,
that's interesting. They won the game before that, but like if you go through their playoff losses last year, I'd almost guarantee you like it's 0-fers on the power play. 0 for 3 when they lost 6-2 in Game 5. They could have taken control of the series. Game 3 of that series, they lose 2-1. Their power play goes, holy shit. Their power play, they lose 2-1 in overtime. Their power play went 0 for 6.
Hell yeah.
Edmonton Oilers.
Okay. This is systemic.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We'll have our power play in the playoffs.
Yeah. I misspoke a little bit. I think as the Stanley Cup playoffs final went on, it got worse, but like Draisaitl scored Game 1 on the power play. To win the game. Tyler said that's going to be a statue pose. Yeah. When he's
Fucking it should have been.
To go back to kind of your initial point, like obviously Bouch is a driving factor for the Oilers and is one of the few players that is keeping us above water.
And yes, and like that's why I said yesterday, and I said it, and I was wincing as I said it because I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm being hot takey. He might be their MVP this year.
Which is funny to see how far he's come.
People who criticize the contract, there's like Absolutely. He is a $10.5 million defenseman. And if you want to bring the Olympics into this, when you watched Devon Toews and you watched Parayko and Doughty and Sanheim, they all make the same mistakes that Bouch does.
Yeah.
You just don't get the gravy with it.
I think one other thing from the Olympics.
I think Bouch should have been on the Olympic team.
Yeah. Oh, especially my take on that is like when you watched.
It would have been nice to see the dynamic of him at the world stage because we didn't get that.
It's funny when people look and like, again, they dominated the USA in that gold medal game. Not to bring this up again, it's kind of pointless, but like Canada builds their team almost like they aren't the better team. Like they're sitting there and like, we got to take Sanheim and all these guys because we got to protect our goalie, all this. It's like, whoa, the other teams are getting like 19 shots a game. Like, why are you worried about defending?
Yeah.
Right? Like, go get guys who are going to score. Like, you're the best team. You'll control 90% of the game. Like, pick all the skill guys. Anyways.
Just score more.
Yeah, just score more. I think that's what a lot of people were kind of saying. Yeah. But anyways, that's my rant. I think Evan Bouchard is a lock to be a Norris finalist. And I think this year...
He's got to keep up the point production because the thing is, you're right.
He's got to get to 90 plus
He's
points.
not Cale Makar, right? In the sense of that, like the judges are like, well, that's not Cale Makar, so
you have to beat the incumbent.
How do you? Yeah, like so it has to be like handedly.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good point too. There was a comment here and it scrolled away, so now I forget it. Doobie is here though. Okay, we can get to our guest then. Guest line brought to you by Oodle Noodle. You can take advantage of the value menu deal. Add 2 green onion cakes, 5 spring rolls, or 6 wontons to your order. Any signature or premium box in store or takeout only. Also, the community box gives 10% of all proceeds to Sports Central. Always happy to support our friends over at Sports Central. As we welcome in Devan Dubnyk, the former Edmonton Oilers goaltender. Doobie, how you doing?
Good, boys. Thanks for having me.
Evan Bouchard for Norris, you in?
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, it's the Cale Makar Award. Like, there's not, and it's not even. Sorry to other defensemen, but unless something, I mean, it's going to be every year.
Yeah, and that's what we were kind of saying. Like, you have to be like not just a little better than Makar, you have to be like a lot better than Makar in a given season to like really skew the vote and probably get the respect you deserve. But before we get into, and listen, goaltending, stunner, hot button issue in Edmonton right now, I wanted to ask you just your general take on their deadline approach. Like, we've roasted this team for their inability to prevent high danger chances. So they get Dickinson, they get Murphy. They went for fit over flash. What'd you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't surprising. There wasn't, I don't think, too much available for them to make a crazy splash without really changing the lineup drastically, which they feel like they're contenders for good reason because they've been to the Cup final for 2 years in a row. So they know they can get the job done when the time comes, and they're just tinkering a little bit. So I did like the additions. I think Murphy's good on the back end as well. Bring some grit and aggressiveness there. And we'll see how they fit in. I think this is a crucial stretch for them. That win in Vegas was huge. You don't want to talk about it. You talk about winning the Stanley Cup. Well, they got to get to the playoffs first. And I was looking at the standings. It was like, better start winning some games now so that we're not stressing come 10 games left. So I'm hoping they can string some things together here.
Can I hog the questions for a second? Because I have a good follow-up to that.
Okay.
We hear a lot of like teams that can squeak in. Think of like that year St. Louis won when they were the 8th seed. And it happens quite a bit. Florida, the first year they went to the Cup final and ultimately lost. Like, these teams will just squeak in and go, man, we feel like we've been playing playoff hockey for 2 months now. Have you been on teams where you were like locked in, like maybe a Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota are now? They've known since Christmas that they're going to be playoff teams. And have you been on teams that had to fight just to squeak in? And is there truly like a difference in your mindset going into the playoffs when you're on one versus the other?
Yeah, I've been on both. Both in Minnesota were one the first year I got traded here. I played 38 games in a row, and we had like a less than 2% chance of making the playoffs when I got here, and I think we clinched our playoff spot with the third to final game. So we were playing since January, and it's good. And we went into playoffs and we were flying and we beat St. Louis in the first round, but the problem with that is you can't run out of gas. And I think we ran out of gas in the second round against Chicago. Like we were still working and going, but once we got behind the 8 ball against Chicago, you could kind of start to see that the gas tank was getting pretty low. Another year we were top of the league. We were first in the West. everything was good. And then we actually had a slip up in March, and we that was the time, that was kind of our downtime. So we were still at the top of the standings, but going into playoffs, we started to play a little better right before playoffs. But you don't want to have that downturn or that lack of urgency going into playoffs, which can be an issue when you are just sitting up there and your spot's been good since February, and obviously you're still going out there and competing, but it's a different component to really crank it up for playoff time. So I think, I'm looking at Edmonton right now, and I'm thinking that there's a good opportunity here to be going, playing at a high level come playoff time, be playing playoff hockey when playoffs start. I just think when I'm talking about these next 10 games here is making sure that it's not like, do or die every game. You want to be going up and making sure that you're getting into the playoffs and you're playing at that high level. But I'd rather not be watching them in the final 10 games, scoreboard watching every single night to see if they're bouncing in and out. And they shouldn't be. They're too good of a team for that. So I'm hoping to see a nice little stretch here.
So there's been a bit of a situation going on with Tristan Jarry here.
I briefed him yesterday on the whole thing. Yes.
Oh, okay. So the rumor is there was a bit of an incident at practice, and it was mostly because he wasn't working hard enough, I guess. Like, obviously you were the goalie, but like as a player and you're trying to shoot on this guy, like you need him to figure this out, right? Because also too, like he's lost his spot as a starter in Edmonton.
Yeah. So I'll go both sides of this here. So number one, it's a rumor, and it's Edmonton. And when I say Edmonton, I'm not talking about the goalie side. I'm just talking about a market that cares a lot about their hockey, and things like this can happen throughout a season, guys. It's a long season. There's a lot of practice, especially when you're not playing. If you don't feel great about your game, it can be a grind every day, and you expect a lot out of yourself, and you want it. And there's just some days where maybe it's not working, and maybe you're tired and you're irritated, and things like this happen in practice. Again, I don't know exactly what the situation is, but I've butted heads with guys throughout the year, and it's a quick FU back and forth, and that's it. And I don't know whether this is that or it's not, but when you're in a market where there's, the media are sitting and watching and they're paying attention to that, something like that can get blown out of proportion. And maybe the players were pissed off at him because he wasn't working hard enough. And maybe it was a day that he was just frustrated and he was having a tough go. And all these things come into it. If this becomes, something that is consistent, that continues to happen, or it gets brought up in the room, that's one thing. But I can honestly say that there's plenty of times throughout my seasons where there's just it's the dog days. Like you're practicing a lot. You don't feel great about your game. You mentioned he's lost the starting spot for the moment. There's a lot of emotions, and it becomes tough. And he's come here to Edmonton wanting to be great. It hasn't gone as well as he'd liked. Frustrations can pour over a little bit, and I think that stuff happens. I would just say it's probably not nearly as big of a deal as everybody's making it, but that's part of the job. And they gotta figure it out. But again, stuff like this, I don't look too deeply into unless it becomes a more than one time thing. But again, I've had plenty of back and forths. It just sometimes during the season where some days it might not even get noticed. But right now where they are, it's going to get noticed. So I'll definitely not think too much of it until other than I'm not surprised that there's frustration there.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you as well. Obviously, he's been a starter in the NHL his entire career, essentially.
Basically from Jump Street, yeah.
But now he's clearly the second option in Edmonton for the time being. How difficult can that be for a goalie to go from I'm playing every 2 or 3 games in a row to basically maybe I'll get one start this week? It must be a pretty significant adjustment.
It's really hard, and it's hard not just for that, but you have to find a way to not go chase the game, and it's really hard because you want to be the starter, you expect to be the starter. Like I said, he's probably obviously not happy with how it's gone in Edmonton with his play, so he's in there in practice, and he's trying to find his game, and he's trying to work, and it makes it harder in practice as well when you don't get those game reps. And then when that game comes, you have to find a way not to put that game on a pedestal. And this is the be all end all, because then you go out there and again, I've said this over and over, goalie is a unique position. It's purely reactionary. So you can't go out there, a forward can go out there and jump the boards and contribute even in one way or another. Like a goal scorer could go out there and get in a fight or hit somebody, or if things aren't going well, go mix up. You can go do something. Goalies can't do anything. They can only react to what comes at them. So it's hard to fight that urge to go out there and try to make a difference, because then you're chasing the game. You want the shots to come, shots that are going wide. Maybe you're running after them a little bit, and it becomes a little chaotic, and then it gets chaotic in your head as well. So it's just a challenge that you've got to deal with. And hopefully for him, he's able to put one game together. Listen, they want him to be the starter, I'm sure. And they want him to get rolling and have both guys going and have this option. So the opportunities are going to be there if he can go start to put his game together and start to put a nice, comfortable, confident game on the ice. They're going to go back to him as soon as they can and then try to get him rolling. But when you're trying to get that, that's just the constant battle within yourself, because there are long stretches in between games. So if you go have a crappy game, then you got to go grind it out in practice and think about it again and wait for your next time. And it's not something that he's used to. And for the Oilers' sake, hopefully he can get it going here in this next time. And the difficult part of it too is that we just talked about, they don't have time to say, hey, let's give him an opportunity to find his game. They need these wins. So if he's not, you saw when he got pulled when it was 5-5, like, sorry, we can't afford to let you battle this thing out when two shitburgers went in and it's tied in the third period. Like we don't have time. And so that becomes a difficult part as well.
Yeah, and again, like putting pressure on yourself. Like I'm looking, Ingram's obviously going tonight, and then you have Thursday against Dallas. I mean, tonight's results can maybe change things, but you have a back-to-back Thursday, Friday. Okay, if you're Tristan Jarry, you're getting one of those. If you let in a couple softies next week, day off in between every game, the Oilers don't play back-to-backs again until April. Like, you're right. Like, it could be a situation where you look at this schedule if you're Tristan Jarry and, like, the amount of pressure you're putting on yourself, being like, if I don't play well on Thursday or Friday when I get my next look, I might be sitting on my ass for the next 10 days. Like, that would rattle me, I think.
Yeah, and those are just things that you have to, as a professional player, you have to force out of your head. Because if you do think that way, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to be successful. Those are all things that they don't allow you to perform when you think about these things, that all these outcomes, right? Outcomes happen. You think about your game, and easier said than done, but focusing on the game, focusing on the little things, what he needs to do to go out and perform and eliminate all those what ifs, because the outcome comes at the end of all that. And that's, again, it's the battle of professional sports, being a professional hockey player. It's impossible not to think about. For sure he's going to think about that. For sure he's going to look at the schedule and it's going to cross his mind. But come game time, are you able to set that aside and go play? And it either happens or it doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, we got one more thing, unless any more Oilers, or can I get to the last thing I want to talk to?
Go for it. What was in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want to ask that too.
We're going to play a video here, and if you look closely at the players warming up, not only are they all wearing number 30, they all have Dubnyk on the back. Over the weekend, you got to see your name added to the banner in Kamloops. How cool was it? Like, I mean, seeing these jerseys, you were signing autographs, seeing your name go up to the rafters. What was the weekend like?
It was unbelievable. I mean, way more than I expected. I knew, I was excited to get the call. I didn't realize how big of a deal it was going to be. The Blazers just did an incredible job. The whole thing. I mean, they flew the whole family out there. My kids had an unbelievable time. They got to skate with the scratches in the morning. It was a back-to-back. So, yeah, I mean, that was crazy to me. I didn't know. I guess I knew that it was going up there. I didn't realize that there was going to be a banner raising until like game time, but the whole red carpet, my kids were like, "You gonna cry?" I'm like, "No." And then they played this video and it was crazy. Like I'm like, "No, I'm not going to get emotional at all." And I didn't, but I was watching this video and I was like, that's like half my life. Like, right. Like it was like a 5.5 minute video. And it was like, some really cool footage from when I was playing junior. I mean, my kids had never seen some of those clips of me playing, and I'm watching this and I'm like, this is 20 years, because it went through junior and then it showed clips of me in the NHL and kind of going back and forth. And of course they got Time of Your Life playing in the background, and I'm like sitting there. I had to look away from the screen a couple times, and I was like, no, you got to talk in a second. Just like, we'll watch it again later and you can think harder. But it was just an amazing night. And it was, again, for my kids to get to see that. Obviously they know I played and they were around, and I always joke about it's nice when dad gets to be cool for a day. But I think they were like, even for them, it was pretty cool to see like that big of a deal made out of it.
Yeah, and I would say it's the least they can do, considering one season they played you in 65 of the 72 games.
Yeah,
like, that's insane.
I think that might have been, was that my last year?
Second last year.
That was, yeah, Mark Ferner was the coach. I really look at that as like he like showed me how to be a starting goalie, because 65 out of 72 games and like WHL travel. Yeah. Like and we play 3-3s. Like yeah. I would play 3-3 with bus travel. And so I figured out how to play when you don't feel good. I figured out how to play when you don't sleep. Figured out, like, I like Mark Ferner put all the confidence in me to go. And I mean, I learned so much that year on just how to, like, I wouldn't have been able to play 38 in a row come to Minnesota if I hadn't have played 65 out of 72 in Kamloops.
That's absolutely insane. Cool. But anyways, congrats on having your name go up to the banner, Doobie. And thanks for popping on with us again today.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
There was Doobie was the first goalie drafted in that draft class. And Kamloops drafted a player in the 3rd round by the name of Eric Belanger. It's good with a K.
Oh, different Eric.
Different Eric.
I was about to be like, man, that's a hell of a draft. That's a hell of a WHL draft class.
Yeah, the Western League draft is so funny to look back at now in comparison to what it would be today. Like Kyle Chipchura played 481 games in the league, went 1st overall. Yeah, so it's just very different times.
Yeah. All right, we got
Shitburger. Let in a couple shitburgers. I mean, to be fair, he did. That game against Anaheim was no bueno. We had Doobie on, I think, right after that game, too.
I think we did, yeah.
Okay, let's get to our Bet365 game day betting challenge. Excuse me, whatever the moment, whatever your bet, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Jay is wincing as we start this segment.
I just can't make him juicy right now.
Tonight's a tough one to find juice.
I know. The Oilers money line's pretty juicy.
Money line's like the only one.
So for those who are curious, this would be, I think, the biggest underdogs that the Oilers have been all season. They're plus 145 on the money line, which you never see it. I will say you could flip the puck line
Liam's
around.
Coming, though. Liam is coming.
I've only lost once since coming back from the Olympics.
You're hot.
Yeah, last game I didn't like my bet and I didn't hit, but no one hit.
Yeah. All right, tonight I'm looking to keep my lead. Got a 2-legger. I like Leon to score tonight. He's been just absolutely humming. Yeah. Leon anytime goal and Bouchard 3+ shots. He's been like weird.
460.
Yeah, he's been weirdly quiet on the shot front. He's only hit this twice in his last 5.
Well, Makar, Tate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think Bouch is going to get up for this one. I could see the Oilers getting a few power plays. Leon Draisaitl has goals in 4 of his last 5 games and 7 of his last 10. So I like Leon to find the back of the net. Bouch to hammer his shot prop. Liam, what do you got?
Colorado money line. No, I went Draisaitl goal. I did think about it though.
With a Colorado money line.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be juicy. I'm not doing it.
Oh, for the record. Oh, did I clear the air that I didn't mean to bet LA that night?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Plus 145 Draisaitl goal. He's just been hot.
Automatic.
He's been really good since coming back.
Yep.
Well, I'm going the Tate approach, so I'm all in on McDavid.
Yep.
Despite his hand injury.
Did you hear about this?
No.
He's not taking face-offs.
He didn't take a single face-off last game.
Even Savoy took a defensive zone.
Doesn't matter.
face-off.
He's going to get a breakaway, and he'll deke the pants off of someone. It's Connor against McKinnon. So we got shellacked. I just hope there's a response. So Oilers money line, Connor 4. Did I go with 4 shots? Or are there 3 shots? Three shots and Connor to score. He hasn't scored in forever. Mm-hmm. Well, he scored against LA, but like 1 goal in how many games? 10? Something crazy.
Yeah. That
So,
was
one hand or not, he's Connor McDavid.
Yeah. How many times in Connor McDavid's career do you think he's played the full game and not taken a face-off?
7.
It has happened twice in his career.
So then who's going to center for him, or is this just a lot of Leon Connor?
Well, Nuge is just
Nuge would
taking
take him.
draws.
Oh, Nuge will come in, yeah. Yeah, obviously.
The only other time Connor McDavid did not take a face-off in a full hockey game in his career, you can even include the game against Columbus when he got hurt 37 seconds in. He took the opening face-off and then got hurt. So there's been twice in his career where McDavid has played a regular season game and not taken a face-off. The other one was October 4th against Calgary, season opener, where he scored a hat trick. Why would he have not? They must have been playing with Leon that game.
What year? Is this when he came back from his knee injury?
Yeah. It was McDavid and Draisaitl, I think, on a line together.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, McDavid, Draisaitl, Cassian, maybe?
What year was that?
2017.
So is that the first game back
From the knee injury.
yeah, because he was a little bit different. So that was probably sheltering him a little bit.
Scored a hat trick.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Watched that game from Ford Hall. It was awesome.
Season opening game from Fort Hall?
Yeah.
Just for the vibes?
I just wanted to be there. And the beers in Fort Hall are way cheaper.
So you
I was just a
listen-
boy back then.
Yes.
A wee
Almost
lad.
10 years ago.
That's, yeah. Time
Man.
is flying.
Man.
9 seasons ago is when that game would have been.
Yep.
I emailed Doobie and asked if I could get a copy of that video.
You want to watch it and cry as well?
I want to see.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat for throwing that in. I'll be honest, I didn't even know it happened.
No,
Someone in the chat said it, so I scrolled through the Blazers' Twitter, and I was like, oh, shit, they did a whole Dubnyk night.
I didn't see it either. They're not on my timeline. It's just Penticton V's.
Oh, yeah.
Arch rivals.
You guys should do a Doobie
For your
night.
scouting. You should be following every team.
Not the Blazers. They're not good enough to play on the V's. Same with the Victoria Royals.
Also,
Prince
you do,
George
you're like
Cougars.
you don't do a lot of like WHL on WHL scouting.
Not
You're more
too
of-
much.
Yeah,
Just Oil Kings a little bit.
yeah.
They're pretty good.
Avs, terrible power play. Really good
So
penalty.
take lots of penalties.
Take all the penalties.
Take
you
all
need
your
tonight,
liberties
boys.
because they ain't scoring.
They're gonna go fuck. We did all of this shit talk. They're gonna go 3 for 4 tonight.
It's going to be a 2-0. It's going to be an under, and they're 100% on the power play.
Yep. That game was in November, correct?
And we're going to have
Yeah.
950 save percentage. We're going to be like, fuck, everything we want, but the thing we can't do, we didn't do.
You want to know what's really concerning looking back at that 9-1 game?
All
Aside
of it?
from not scoring on 6 power plays.
I was gonna say they went 0 for 7.
Oh, nice. I remember
Could have been worse.
that was the only game I've, like, in a long, long time that has literally kept me up at night.
That 9-1 loss.
That 9-1 I was just like, what do they even do now? Like, when you had that tweet a few years ago, I was like, well, watching the McDavid era unravel. I would never say something as extreme as that.
No.
But I felt like what are they going to do? Like, you just lost 9-1. And we all, going into that game, was like, this is the game where the Oilers have to turn things around. Like, their measuring stick. Oh, and they got measured. They ain't left the ground.
Well, that one didn't count. Tonight counts.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
They're on the road in Colorado.
They got booed.
Oh yeah, we didn't even go back to our seats for the third period, Jay.
Oh,
No,
you
we-
were at the. Oh yeah, you guys.
We
went
just
to
hung
the
out.
game.
We just hung out and
I was in the Dominican for all this, and I came back, and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
shit had hit the fan
Yeah.
in oil country, and was like, am I going to have a job when I get back? It's like, what's happening?
Wasn't Brett had to do the post game?
Yeah, they had
Oh yeah, we had Waz doing that game. Oh my god, poor Waz.
how's his bubbly Diet Coke intake?
He told me today,
I didn't see him have
unprompted.
one yesterday.
He said, "I'm going to limit myself to 1 Diet Coke a week." I said, "That seems extreme, Waz. You could maybe have just one every couple of
I
days or
think
one
it's
a day."
because there's not enough in the fridge right now.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
It
I
might not
watched
be
him drink
enough.
2 on Sunday night, so that's bull right there.
Well, it's the end of the week. And also
on-
the start of the week for some people, so you can kind of split Sundays. You know, I think
That's
that's
your
fair.
cheat day. That's
Yeah.
your cheat day.
looking at. I'm watching back the goals against.
Against Colorado,
Yeah, honestly,
they were all bad.
you think they were bad? I was about to be like, I don't even know how many of these are on Stu.
No, I just mean in general.
Oh yeah,
the
like they
team
were
was
just
bad.
bleeding chances.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
No, I don't think it was on Stu that much
No.
that night, which is crazy to say. They lost 9-1.
Like the 2 point blank wristers from Makar are like, maybe you'd like a save there. Like
He
they're
had
just
the first Makar one.
Stopped him right before
He
that.
just stopped him. And then they just allowed it to happen again.
So I shouldn't have pulled any of these up. These are freaking terrible.
And then there was the one, I think Parker Kelly scored on like a breakaway from their own blue line.
Yeah.
Like,
and Edmonton just stood there and watched.
Yeah,
it.
it was
awful.
It was bad.
And that was the night none of the captains spoke.
Oh yeah,
And
we
the
did do
media came out and said, well, we requested Mangiapane, Frederick, and whoever else it was. Like, why? Why were any of the... You can't pin down any of those guys. They've been here for 2 weeks. I want to hear Leon, Connor, and Nurse. Those are your leaders.
Yeah.
They got to speak. And they didn't. And that infuriated me. I wrote a full 500-word article on it.
Tonight,
different night.
different team.
Let's hope.
March.
On both sides.
It's March.
Sprung ahead.
March Madness.
So I got the Oilers lineup for you guys quickly, then I'll touch on the Avs lineup. This is from our good friend Bob Stauffer, who's boots on the ground in Denver. McDavid, Nugent on the top line. He lists McDavid as down the middle, but will he be? We wait. Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Roslovic on line 2. Makes sense to keep that trio together. I actually really like that group. I kind of like anything that's Draisaitl, Roslovic. I mean, Draisaitl, Roslovic, Savoy, sweet. If it was Draisaitl, Savoy, Podkolzin, sweet. This is good. It's nice that they have like a nice, like they can throw Kapanen up. They have a good collection of wingers to complement Draisaitl.
I thought Kapanen was good the other day. I thought he played well.
I thought he played well, and that's why I kind of like the third line being what it is, because Savoy and Kapanen are both generating and buzzing. Like Savoy set up Kapanen for that one last game that went off the inside of the post.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They were buzzing, and Dickinson is kind of a prick.
He's good.
He's good.
I like him.
It's this is this third line could be a factor because Dickinson can shut shit down. Kapanen can blow guys up, and also has a touch of skill. And Savoy is developing into a real hockey player.
Yeah. Intelligent player. I think
And now we got the energy line,
the fourth
the
line.
Bash brothers.
Yeah, they're playing 2 shifts a period, but son of a bitch, you notice them.
You notice him. Yeah, it's good. It's
They'll
all,
play them more.
Yeah. I think that'll happen.
They'll play more?
I think so.
I don't think it'll be tonight because I think they will be petrified of Jared Bednar putting Nathan McKinnon on the ice against them.
Agreed. And that's
But
fair.
then they got one assignment: blow them up.
Blow up Nate Dogg, piss him off. I think you want to just
Goes
leave him
back to
alone.
that one game in Edmonton. Zach Cassian, like in the first 60 seconds of the game, blew the Nate Dogg up.
in
also,
the playoffs.
too,
Nope.
we need Nate on the ice for the power play.
Oh yeah,
We definitely do. You definitely need Nate on the ice. Maximum power plays. That's how we.
Yeah.
That's how we kill some of the time on the clock. Because Nate Dogg's just gonna shoot from everywhere.
Yeah, we gotta
miss
keep-
the net. Break out for us. Maybe a 2-on-1.
Who knows?
Because we know what's coming, so we should play for it.
Yeah, we got to make this a special teams battle tonight.
also
2 shorthanded goals. Can I get that on 365 tonight?
Calgary scored 2 shorties yesterday and
on the
lost.
same kill.
Yeah, was it the same kill?
Same
Wow.
kill, I think.
Oh, double dicker.
I'll say something about this forward group. And I probably shouldn't.
Do it.
Adam Henrique. I'll just say, would have been good if you got injured again a week ago.
Did you read my first line in the prep sheet today?
I never read the prep sheet.
I know. Read my first line.
If Rico is healthy, do you even put him in? No. No, you should not. He's just...
$3 million professional
behind.
popcorn eater. Get up there, buddy.
He's just a step behind.
Go look handsome.
I think fourth line center is fine for him, but like it's pretty noticeable when he's not playing, which not ideal for a guy that makes $3 million.
New. Do we have our friend Jesse here? All right. Jay,
Time for me to bounce.
time
Okay.
for you to bounce. What do you think?
Manifest. Oilers win tonight.
Gotta win something.
It's
Give the Avs 7 power plays.
give the fans some sanity.
Yep.
Because we just don't feel the foundation doesn't feel strong right now.
No, we're weak. We're being held up.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Good
see
luck
ya.
to
There
all
you
of
go.
us.
Farewell, Jay.
Jesse Montano's appearance is brought to you by. You're just gonna have to walk away. It's brought to you by Truck Month. Thank you. It's a presentation of GMC. Truck Month is on right now at GMC, and if you've been waiting for the perfect time to upgrade your ride, this is it. The 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab is built to stand out now, and it's available at 0% financing for 72 months. Liam, how many years is that?
3.
I think it's 6. It's 6 years. It's
How
got
many?
a 2.
I thought, that is 6.
It's not 3 years.
You put me on the spot. That is not fair.
It's got a 2-inch factory lift with off-road suspension and a 5.3-liter V8 engine that delivers the kind of power you actually feel when you hit the gas. And during truck month, you can get into your very own. Now is the time to head down to the dealership, take it for a spin, and see what the Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab can really do.
Sorry, Jesse, 1 second. I just want to explain myself. 72 is 3 days because it's 72 hours.
Yeah.
That's why I went to 3.
Okay.
We're good now.
Okay.
Just want anyone to know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Jesse Montano joins us from Guerrilla Sports, covers the Colorado Avalanche. Wait, do we have him? You might be muted. Unmute. Unmute. Oh,
We're
no.
good now. Oh, no. Okay.
No, we're going to need you to reset. It's those damn AirPods. I hate AirPods so much. We'll get back to Jesse in just a moment. But the Colorado Avalanche, Liam, a little note on their lineup ahead of tonight. No Gabe Landeskog. No Arturi Lehkonen. Logan O'Connor. I was reading through Jesse's tweets. It seems like he might be back. Do we have Jesse?
Hello.
There we
You
go.
got me?
Yeah,
All right.
we do. Anyways, we'll just quickly speed run. A week is not 72 hours, 72 days, a bunch of years in a month, whatever the hell we were talking about. Still no Logan O'Connor tonight, or is he going to play?
Still no Logan O'Connor tonight. He's getting close, though, so he'll go on the trip with the Avs, but sounds like maybe a conditioning stint for him first, so no OC for the Avs.
I guess when you're missing 3 members of your forward group, it really doesn't matter when you're this damn deep. You just acquire Nazem Kadri, throw him up on the wing. Who cares? You're running Nick Waugh, Gavin Brindley on the third line. This team's forward group, you still have to be looking at it, even though you cover them on a daily basis. You have to be looking at this group and being like, God damn it, this is deep.
So after they brought in Kadri, that was where I really had Gabe Landeskog went out of the lineup. And the lineup they put together against the Wild a couple nights ago, I was like, wow, this is a really good team. No Lehkonen, no Landeskog for that game. Look, Jared Bednar said it the other day, the 2022 team won the Stanley Cup. So until this group accomplishes that, you can't compare the two. But, on paper, I've covered this team professionally for 10 years. This is the deepest lineup I've ever seen them have on paper. Chris McFarland has done unbelievable work here for the last 18 months.
I think my question would be, how has he been able to do this? And not in the sense of why is he capable, but why are teams just being like, hey, we'll take Charlie McAvoy and you can have Gavin Brindley.
You mean Charlie Coyle?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said McAvoy.
My
he
bad.
wasn't in the
I
deal.
am on a run right now. And Nazem Kadri, Calgary the whole time is like, we will not retain, but we will for Colorado.
Crazy.
And now all of a sudden, Brent Burns seems to have rolled back the years a little bit. It just seems to be crazy how he's been able to pull off all these moves.
Look, I'm of the opinion that with where the Avs are at right now, I don't care about draft picks. Mm-hmm. They're lottery scratchers. Get rid of all of them. So, from my perspective, what he did to bring in Nazem Kadri with 20% retained, he basically gave up nothing.
Yeah.
To get that done. And the Brock Nelson deal at $7 million looks better and better by the day. And he's been fantastic, 30 goals for them. Just a lot of really smart business. And then look, I think there is something about Jared Bednar's system that you mentioned. Brent Burns, the way that he lets the defense activate because of the way that they defend as a 5-man unit, it gives the defenseman the freedom to get up ice if they want to. And it just seems to work for a lot of guys. Josh Manson, even going back a few years, when they brought him in, it was like, yeah, he's all right. Some some penalty problems. He's good in his own end, but he's not going to give you much. He's dynamic for the Avs in the offensive zone at times. So I think it's a combination of the system that Jared Bednar plays that the guys just thrive in. Brett Kulak picks up a big assist the other night, pinching down into the circle, to get a shot off. So I think it's that. And then I don't know. I don't know why people pick up phone calls from Chris McFarland or Joe Sakic at this point, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. My one thing that I thought the Nick Waugh deal, giving up a first for a guy who really doesn't bring you offense, I felt like that was an overpay.
Yeah.
Do you think they would have Do you think they make that trade if they still had hope they were getting Kadri? Like, that feels like they made that deal. It was in like the day after word came out that like Calgary slammed their fist and said, we're not retaining on Kadri. Right. Then Colorado did this. Like the Nick Waugh deal, when everyone's healthy and you can slot Kadri to center, it feels like redundant, doesn't it?
So I agree. I think, and I haven't had anybody tell me this specifically. I think when the Kadri deal fell through, this was kind of their backup plan, if you will. Mm-hmm. And then sounds like Calgary kind of came back around, and I'll get back to that in a second. But no, that was the one move I just made the joke about. I don't know why people pick up their phone call. That was the one move. The first felt a little bit rich to me. Now, again, we've seen Nick Waugh for 2 games, and I think in that last game where he scores the game-tying goal after winning 2 battles on the wall, you see why they liked him and what he can bring to the bottom part of this lineup. But like I said, I really do. I think Chris McFarland is in the mode of like, we're going for it. We have as deep of a roster as we've ever had. And again, on paper, I think it's hard to find any other team in the league that's got this kind of depth. And if this is what it costs us to get this player we like, this is what we're going to pay. And then, again, I think they kind of got a little lucky that the Flames circled back around the next day, and now you just kind of supercharged your team down the middle. But like I said, people thought that what they paid for Arturi Lehkonen in 2022 was a bit of an overpay for what he was. And now I don't think there's an Avs fan anywhere that wouldn't trade 3 first-round picks for that guy. So we'll see. We'll see what Nick Waugh does. But no, Tyler, I'm with you. When that one came across my screen, I did think like, multiple picks, one being a first for Nick Waugh. But like I said, so far so good for him. Here in his couple games with the Avs.
Well, and the other thing too is just on like Lehkonen, they get, and it looks great because he's still there contributing a number of years later. You look at like the whiffs that Carolina's had on like a Gensel, and then Rantanen, they kind of had to redo that whole thing. And it's like, they spent a lot, and it's on guys who just walk right out the door in July. Like Kadri's going to be there for 3 more seasons at a pretty good number, even if he doesn't age great. You have $5.6 million on your second or third line. Who cares? Nick Waugh, $3 million next year. You get him for 2 playoff runs. Like, I'm okay with a team like Colorado saying F the picks at, even if it's 4 rentals. The fact that they're getting these guys for years and years, like that also helps.
They're running McKinnon, Nelson, Kadri down the middle for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, not bad.
Yeah. Well, the power play, we've joked about it throughout the show, being like, we just got to give him power plays tonight. It's the only way we can win. Why is it 31st in the NHL? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. And honestly, I was listening to you guys talk about that, and it's like, that's not a terrible strategy. Just put them up 5-on-4, and you're not only are you probably going to not give up any goals, you're probably going to get one yourself, right? 11 shorthanded goals given up by the Avs this year, 31st on the power play. And the puzzling part about it has been like, I don't know if you guys watched the game last Friday on deadline day in Dallas. Power play looked great. Scored 2 goals, helped get them back into that game. It was a fantastic game. And then you watch them against the Wild, and they go -1 for 5, 0 for 5 on the power play, give up a shorthanded goal, and they couldn't get the zone established. It didn't feel like there were any threatening passing lanes. It's just the fact that on one night it'll look good, on the next night it'll look terrible, and it just doesn't make any sense when you add up who the personnel is and what players they have on the ice. It does not make any sense that they struggle as much as they do. I think there's a part of it, and maybe this is a cop-out, I don't know. I think there's a part of it that's a bit in their heads. Like, you can really make the argument that they lost that 7-game series last year to the Dallas Stars because they couldn't get a power play goal when they needed it. And Cale Makar in particular, I think I lost count at like 10 show-stopping Jake Ottinger saves on Cale Makar on the power play. And I think it's in their head. I think they are not afraid to shoot, but I had someone tell me earlier this year that looking at the Avs, it didn't feel like they were trying to score on the power play. They were trying to embarrass their opponent. One extra pass to get that wide open backdoor tap in, right? Let's force it through the seam for this guy who's wide open for a one-timer, but there's 3 sticks, 2 shin pads, and a skate in between. Like, they're forcing, in my opinion, they're forcing plays to try to get the easy goal instead of just playing north, putting pucks to the net. You got Val Nichushkin and Gabe Landeskog standing in front. Those are big bodies who tip pucks, win battles, and it just feels like they are reluctant at times to put pucks towards the net. and they want that one extra pass, that one last play that just makes it, this beautiful highlight reel, easy goal. And I think they're overcomplicating it. Not to be a shoot it guy, but I think they just need to put the pucks towards the net a bit here.
Do you think that would be maybe the lone reason why they couldn't win the Stanley Cup this year? Because of the power play being so inconsistent? I guess bad too.
Yeah, and I think it could be a factor. Now, I think the one thing they do have going for them is they have a top 3 penalty kill. So even with as bad as their power play has been, they're coming out even on special teams battles on most nights. So I think that can maybe prop them up a bit. But like I said, I mean, literally, you have a real argument to say they lost that series to the Stars last year because they needed one more power play goal and they couldn't get any. So it's something that I think they brushed off for the first 2 months of the season of like, we'll figure it out. But it's at the point here where it's like, you got 20 games to go and you still haven't figured it out. Now, maybe Nazem Kadri helps that a little bit. I don't know. But you shouldn't be having to bring guys in to help your power play when you've got Marty Netchus, Cale Makar, and Nathan McKinnon, kind of in your umbrella there.
Well, they beat the Oilers 9-1 in November and went 0 for 7 on the power play in that game, so they'll probably be fine without it. Let me, along the lines of what Liam was just saying, let me put you in a hypothetical. The Edmonton Oilers offer you a boatload of money. You're going to be a double agent. You're going to go inside the Oilers room today and give Chris Knobloch some keys to victory. Like, when teams have beaten the Avs on the rare times they have, what's been the cracks here that teams expose? How can Edmonton win tonight?
Yeah, well, so Mackenzie Blackwood is looking for a bounce back game. He struggled on Friday against Dallas, got pulled. And then Scott Wedgwood got the start on Sunday against the Wild. So the first thing I would tell that Oilers room is get to Mackenzie Blackwood, early, as quick as you can. Put pucks, follow him there. He's looking to bounce back here, and I think there hasn't really been a question of who the starter is all year. It's been Mackenzie, but as we're coming down the stretch here, it might be in his head a bit. So that would be the first thing I'd tell him. And then the second thing I'd tell him is no time and space when the Avs are in the offensive zone. Teams that have had success against the Avs this year really limit that time and space, specifically around the perimeter. Not dissimilar to the Oilers, top guys, that when they start snapping that puck around, that's when teams really start getting kind of pulled apart and, the seams start opening up. So if you can get out to the perimeter and force Cale Makar out of his comfort zone, and kind of force the Avs to keep the puck out of the middle of the ice. And I know great analysis there. Don't let them get to the middle. But, like I said, that real aggressive kind of pressure around the outside has made it at times this year. Like LA was doing it to the Avs for a portion of that game last week where there was just no space and they were just having to dump pucks in, try to win battles, cycle them back out. So get to Blackwood early. And then, like I said, try to limit as much time and space around the perimeter as you can in the offensive zone.
Avs are 8th best in the league when it comes to staying out of the box when you look at penalties taken per 60. So another thing, too, like if the Oilers do get a couple of cracks with the man advantage today, they probably have to take advantage of it because, again, the 5-on-5 scoring hasn't quite been there for the Oilers. We had a really big debate earlier in the show about, like, how close is the gap for the Norris this year between Makar and Bouchard? And, like, I said, this is not a conversation of who is the better player. This is not a conversation of who you would start a franchise with. This is a conversation of who's had a better season. Where does this season rank for Cale Makar personally? Because, like, I pulled up some of the numbers at 5-on-5 from Natural Stat Trick, and, like, it's interesting that, like, when he's on the ice and McKinnon's not, his plus minus at 5-on-5 drops pretty greatly. It's actually the lowest of the 4 numbers when you look at the 2 of them together, Makar without McKinnon, McKinnon without Makar, then both of them off the ice. The Makar alone one does kind of stand out. What's this season been like for Cale?
It's been really interesting. Had you asked me this same question in December, I would have told you it's a runaway for Cale Makar. Mm-hmm. He got off to an outstanding start to this season, and he still played well. But when the Avs kind of hit that skid mid-January up to the Olympic break, I think there's a lot of that not that I'm like blaming it on Cale Makar or anything like that, but kind of the whole like, oh, they go as he goes kind of thing. When the Avs struggled, Makar struggled. And so coming out of the Olympics where I thought he was really good, not great, I think he's looked better, but he definitely hit a lull, if you will, from January up till that Olympic break where the timing just wasn't quite right. You know, a couple uncharacteristic errors, mismanaging the puck from time to time. So, you know, I don't know. It's been an all right season for Cale Makar, and maybe that just shows how kind of spoiled we are here getting to watch him every day, that like he's going to be a Norris finalist more than likely. And like, we're like, it's been all right, you know? But that's just, it's the standard that he's set. You know, he's played at such a high level on both ends of the ice for so long that when he does have a dip, it's noticeable. And when he's not, you know, kind of that front runner for the Norris, everyone kind of goes, he's having an off year. He should be the best defenseman in the NHL every season. So like I said, I think it got off to a really good start. And then since the calendar tipped over to 2026, he's definitely been chasing a little bit. Still really good, just not to the standard that maybe is expected of Cale Makar.
Mm-hmm. It is a tough bar to set when it's like either you run away with the Norris or you've had a down year. So you feel for the guy in that sense. Jesse,
scored
great
30 goals last year, and a lot of people were like, just really not a good season for him.
Yeah,
all right.
Like the first time since like Mike Green or whatever. Like, it's insane.
Right.
Jesse, as always, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for popping on. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah, always got time for you guys. Love chatting, and should be a good one. We'll talk to you guys later.
There you go. Jesse Montano, covering a team that is comfortably in the playoffs and probably doesn't need to win tonight. You know, they could just let us have one.
Oilers comfortably in too.
One team is 29 points clear of the 9th place San Jose Sharks. The other one is 4, and the Sharks have 3 games in hand.
Pish posh. When it all comes down to it, you know what's going to happen. When he was talking about Makar, then I just couldn't stop thinking about McDavid.
Yeah, like if he doesn't win,
like he's having a down year, and he also had a 20-game point streak this season. You know what I mean? But he has not been dominant by any means, and maybe that's through a couple of injuries here and there, whatever it may be. But like, I feel like we've seen McDavid reach obviously different levels before, and we have seen it this season, just not for 82 games or however many they've played, 64.
All right. I want to get to our Spotify comments in just a second. If you remember yesterday, we asked the people their percentage questions for a couple of guys, including percentage chance that Ingram starts game 1 of the playoffs, percent chance Jarry is even an Oiler next season. How many comments do we have?
16.
Whoa!
God,
way to go, Spotify.
That's Derek Brassard numbers.
That is Derek Brassard's number. Let's not confuse Derek Brassard with being wildly productive.
That's how many.
He was
how
an
many
Av, right?
seconds he played on the penalty kill in his career. Yeah, he was an Av and a Coyote.
Very briefly though, an Av, right?
Yeah,
20 games.
Damn.
Want to guess how many goals he scored?
20 games.
Yeah,
2.
Surprisingly 4.
Wow.
No assists.
What a weird career. Did he play 1,000 games?
Yep, 1,013.
5th overall pick. Now that is production.
6th overall.
Sick. My apologies.
Yeah.
Who went ahead of him?
That was the 06 draft. That was the Gagne draft, wasn't it? No.
No, Gagne was 07. He went 6th overall.
Who did
Taves.
Yeah, no, Eric Johnson, Jordan Stahl, Jonathan Taves. Yep, sorry. Backstrom, Kessel, Brassard, Okposo. That is a first 7 teams stepped up to the podium and all got 1,000 game players.
It's pretty crazy. Who's the one guy in the first round who just didn't pan out?
There are
Scott Glendening was 08, so it won't be him.
There's a few here. Guys who played under 100 career games as first round picks that year. Tampa Bay took Ricky Hellenius, a goalie who played once. San Jose took Ty Wishart, who played 26 games at D-man.
Yeah.
I kind of do too. Mark Matera on Anaheim. David Fisher on Montreal, both goose eggs at 19th and 20th overall.
Damn.
Bob Sanguinetti, 45 games.
Oh, there we go.
Dennis Persson as a D-man. No relation to Joel. Actually, might be. They're both from Sweden. Leland Irving, remember him, 13 games. Ivan Wisniewski, 5 games. Chris Summers, 70. Matt Corrett. The Oilers' first pick in this draft, 45th overall, Jeff Petrie. Nailed it.
Good draft.
Yeah, that was a good one. They traded, obviously, their first rounder to Minnesota that year for, I believe that would have been in the Rolison deal. Wouldn't it have been?
I would guess so, yeah. Yeah, it must have been.
But did they flip it? There's Petrie.
What does that say there?
Compensatory.
What the fuck does that mean? They
compensation.
just gave out picks. They don't do that anymore.
The
I don't
NFL
think.
does that, right?
Yeah, the NFL does that. Lions just got a 5th rounder yesterday.
Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco.
That first round pick in the 06 draft ended up being Trevor Lewis in the Rollison deal.
He had a great career. Another 1,000-game player.
Yeah, another good first round pick. Yeah.
Well, good draft.
All right, Spotify comments.
Tell us your favorite player from the 06 draft.
Yeah, just hit us up. Spotify comments from yesterday. Will is in. Unless Jarry really turns his game around, I don't see how Ingram isn't the starter. I agree. If what's being said about the Oilers' summer plans are true, you're going to have to attach a pick to offload Nurse and then do the same thing to Jarry. You don't have enough picks to probably do both of them, Will, which sucks. Where you have where are your assets to acquire another star, possibly retain some deadline guys, along with Pierre LeBrun's McDavid is leaving fear-mongering today as well. How will Bowman and co. find a way to navigate this summer and really set up for a 2027 Cup? Very easy. You trade, let's say you have like 6 premium assets in your system, right? Like 2 of the firsts will include 2 of the seconds.
Sure.
You have Howard. I really don't want to include Savoy in this conversation.
Szymanski.
Yeah, maybe
You
like
can include him.
one of the other, Szymanski, Hudson's. Let's say you have 6 of them, okay?
Sure.
You take 2 of them and you attach them to Darnell Nurse. Gone.
Glued.
And then you take 4 of them and you attach them to Tristan Jarry and you just beg the Nashville Predators, please give us Saros and Forsberg. Please, 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 please. Call them all the damn time.
I do think...
Pigeons are fighting outside. There's like 5 of them now.
Wow. Get the cameras on.
We said no friends over. There's 2 that live on the ledge.
I think with Jarry, I don't think it costs the Oilers anything to get rid of him. Like, I don't think they'll have to attach much to him. I just don't think they get anything back.
Did you hear the other day, Aaron and I were sitting here working and the 2 pigeons started having sex?
Oh,
Whoa.
it was wild.
And like,
Damn.
we saw the whole thing. The glass is clear. They knew we were watching.
Sickos.
And like graphic.
It
Let
was
me tell
disgusting.
you, it was wild.
If you've ever been like, man, I wonder what it'd
No,
be like
I've never wondered.
Yeah, don't wonder. It was
Damn, that's
gross.
crazy.
Don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Wow. Did not see that coming.
Guys, stop looking outside.
You want more?
So many pigeons out there right now.
I can't see shit.
I know.
Who closes his curtains? Me.
CQ84 is in. Bowman has his work cut out for him this summer. He needs to unload Nurse and Jarry. Stoffer was hinting heavily that they need to get out and get the goalie of the future this summer. I argue you should have done that last summer. What would it take to get Wallstedt? Am I crazy or should they go after Schmaltz this summer in free agency over talk? Don't
I think
go sign.
Schmaltz is re-signing, by the way.
He's probably going to re-sign. Also, don't give that guy $10 million.
Oh, please, no. Just re-sign Roslovic and Dickinson.
Yeah.
Put your $10 million there. I don't even know if that costs
That
10,
wouldn't.
but you know
if
what
that costs you $10 million,
but you know what I mean. Like,
something's
spend
either
your
gone
money.
horrendously wrong or beautifully right.
Yes. Let's hope beautifully right.
Rusty, 99% chance Ingram's game 1 starter of the playoffs. Team plays well in front of him. He's the better goalie than Jarry. I think there's a 20% chance Jarry's an Oiler next year. Whoa. I fully believe Ingram is the guy for the next 3 years. Moving Jarry allows Edmonton to have cap space for other areas. I wouldn't, like, if you can find a way to make it work, an Ingram-Kosa duo next year.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'd like that. Ben is in.
Hey,
100% chance Ingram is the starter. Jarry's unplayable. Definitely can't trust him in important games. Liam's Pickard idea is interesting, bringing in a known great room guy and sending down a locker room cancer in Jarry. 15% chance he's traded
I don't
this
think
summer.
we should label him as a locker room cancer.
No. That's where this conversation's lost the plot.
We've gone too far.
So
We can criticize him without saying stuff like that.
here's an idea, just so people are. I want to get a comparison out here. Ville Husso, famously bad goalie.
Yeah, he parlayed 20 good games in St. Louis into like $30 million in earnings.
Was traded from St. Louis to Detroit for a 3rd-round pick. I think that was when his contract was going. Then was traded to Anaheim for future considerations. I don't think Jarry has fallen that far yet. But I'm just kidding. If he gets traded, maybe something like that. 95% chance from Frederick. Do you think this is Trent?
Maybe. Frederick
It's his
Hobler.
dad.
95% chance Ingram's the starter. Only an injury or complete turnaround in both Jarry and Ingram's performances could change that. 40% he's an Oiler next year. Don't think he fits well. I think that's probably fair. Yeah. It's the biggest year in the McDavid area. I agree.
Kevin
Fredericks
Woodley was on Gregor's show, and he said one thing that's clearly just not working with Jarry is that Skinner, for example, obviously they're just going to be compared, can kind of play the game where it's just like, it hits me. And like, he's a good shot stopper. But when things get moving, that's where Skinner would struggle. But Jarry is always wanting to move, and the Oilers just don't play that way. They need more predictable goaltending,
Yeah.
which they probably should have recognized. Which
Well,
is
that's-
maybe
Which
why
is
Connor Ingram works.
Yep.
Because it's like, oh, puck's coming. I'll use these big pads I've got in front of me to try and
Big
stop
boy.
it. Or I'll just let it go right through me. I'll let it hit down on us
And go in.
and go.
I have a thing on that in a second. Frederick James, 100% Ingram's the starter. Don't think it's close. Side note, fourth line of Doc Clattenburg, Freddie next year. Who says no? Probably need a centerman there, unless you believe in Freddie, I guess. Maybe. I just want a fourth line that is decent.
That's
Caleb.
Bash Bros. That's Bash Bros.
Reading an article today, not only did the Canucks hand us Podkolzin for a fourth-round pick, they've given us that pick back for Kane, and Podkolzin's 15 goals would be tied for a team lead in Vancouver at even strength. That blew my mind. Yeah, the Canucks dumpster fire, in case you missed it. Chandler is in. The way Jarry has played, I see it as the only way Ingram doesn't start game one is if he's hurt, so 95%. 25% chance Jarry's back next year. Sam, $2 million donation to the Ben Stelter Foundation and a case of hockey tape for Nurse and 50 brand new Mangiapane jerseys. What? Richie.
Thoughts? Do the donation.
Ingram, Pickard, goalie, game one, 100%, I think is what it said. Nurse, I think 70%. Not sure if you've discussed it, but his salary versus bonus structure flips July 1 this year, which each offseason from here on out makes it that much easier to move. I'll double check those numbers for everyone. The one thing with the Nurse deal is basically the way you can view that no move clause. It's a full no move clause still next year, but in July of 2027, it changes to a 10-team modified no trade list. You could go to Darnell Nurse this summer and say, hey, give us 3 teams. Next year it's 10, and we might have an easier time flipping you somewhere where you maybe don't quite want to go. Right now, give us 3, and we'll make something work.
So one thing on this, too. Braden Shen came out today and talked about, I think it was Jeremy Rutherford who put out the post, obviously waiving his no move. He's like, the team has asked me 2 or 3 years in a row, whatever he said. He said, you kind of just get to a point. If you keep being asked, there's clearly no future for me here. Let's just say I hope the Oilers have also been asking Don on this last couple of years.
Also, if there's an organization out there, to your point, Richie, who is maybe tight to the old wallet, you can pay his signing bonus. It's next year. His total salary is only $8 million with $6 million of it in signing bonuses. You could pay the $6 million signing bonus on July 1, then send him there.
That's a good strategy.
But every year for the last 4 years, he gets $6 million as a signing bonus.
Wow.
$2 million, 1.2, 1.2, 1.2 is his base salary.
$1 million for every own goal.
Hey. Next one, Brad. As of right now, 80% Ingram, but I'm hoping Jarry wakes up. I agree. 90% Ingram, 40% Jarry's there next year from Wesley. Brady is in. Wingram is the starter night one of the Pilofs, 96.878% chance. Jarry, not an Oiler, 29.1%. Nurse is an Oiler, flat 45% chance. 90% chance Savoy gets 7 years, $6.25 million extension. Trying to guess what his Savoy's deal could be is interesting.
$6 million. Well, I guess it is. Is he an RFA this summer? He is this summer, yeah.
Yes. No, he's 1 more year.
Then yes, I would look to extend him to something like that. If it was next year, you just can't. Like he's the kind of the idea is keep things.
I don't want to
low.
go that high or that early.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of what Carolina have done recently. Like Jason Blake is on a lower deal. They got Seth Jarvis on a good one. Logan Stankoven, he'll need another year, and this isn't something I'm looking at this summer.
Yeah, fair.
But if he comes in, if we get to Christmas and it's like, oh, he already has, just say 13 goals, for example. Yeah. So, oh yeah, okay, let's give this guy some money.
Jacob is in 90% chance Ingram starts. The only way he doesn't is if he gets hurt. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys have kind of been saying that. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, you play junior hockey. If the goalie doesn't try, it's so annoying. Yeah, that again, like, I get it, but I also think it's just a non-issue. Dr. Maddie, Def Ingram is the starter game one. The way the world is going at the moment, Nurse will move in the summer. Jarry will be our new Nurse. I miss Stu and his majestic stash. Fair?
I miss him too.
Colby, Connor's wrist. I remember when he was favoring it during the Olympics.
Same.
Yeah.
I remember it like it was 2 weeks ago.
Aaron, who you got on pre and post tonight?
Sorry, that made me laugh way too much for that. Me, Menzies, Brett, intern Tristan. Huge game. We brought the optimism on Sunday night, and I should have was for this because he was putting out videos being like, hey, Quit being so negative about the Oil. Like, this is a big test. This is a big stretch. Imagine they win these games. We're all the way back in this thing, baby.
Totally.
So, optimism, we're bringing it. Me, Menzies, and Brett. And it's a late one tonight.
8:07.
8:17.
Yeah, national broadcast.
Jack said 8:07.
Oh, someone in Colorado said 8:17. I mean, either way.
Not 8.
Not 8. The other thing, too, that is, someone's, I won't say who said this yesterday, but they're like, if the Oilers can just got to get through this stretch and it's smooth sailing. First of all, nothing about the season has been smooth sailing. Secondly, you need to win some of these damn games to prove that you can even compete with these teams. I would say this stretch is way more important than any stretch of the season.
Where's the smooth part on the schedule?
Just after these games, because all those teams are.
After Dallas, you get 4 non-playoff teams.
Yeah, I think what they were saying too is like the gaps between games can be a little bit easier. Like no back-to-backs, couple of days off there, a bit of practice time. The teams aren't easy by any means. Don't get me wrong. Like Tampa's going to be difficult. Florida, we'll see who's playing.
And while San Jose and Nashville are out of the playoffs, they're playing playoff hockey right now.
Yeah, but you got to beat them. And I would like to say the Oilers have been good at home, but they have been terrible. Frankly.
Chicago's winnable. Vancouver's winnable. Everything else is tough.
The Oilers have one player since Rick and I made our Nurse and Edmonton bet. I was just looking, who is better than +1. Who do you think it is?
Drew.
Let's give you one guess.
Savoy.
Ekholm.
Ooh.
Savoy is even.
Okay.
Everyone else is 4 players who are +1. Everyone else is even or -1. Actually, only one player is -1. It's McDavid. He has 8 points. And everyone else is -2 or worse. Oh, boy.
All right. That's a wrap on today's edition of the show, everybody. Tune into pre and post later on. We got a dart. New episode of Oilers Nation Radio going to drop a little bit later on, so look for that wherever you get your podcast from. Late one tonight, and then we're back tomorrow to break it all down. Enjoy the hockey tonight. Enjoy your Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow at noon Mountain. Oil up. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.